Okay, should we start in then? The room is filling up, it's getting exciting, lots of energy, teachers from the Kanto area. So again, thank you very much for coming to today's JALT Saitama talk. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to be invited from faraway Tottori, the most rural prefecture in Japan, to the big city up here in Saitama. Again, my name is Kip Cates from Tottori University. Email's here on the handout as well if you're interested. And today's topic is a very big one. It's kind of a very specialized area, teaching to promote global citizenship and linguistic awareness by multicultural theme work, teaching about world languages, teaching about world writing systems. Very exciting topic. Thanks again for joining me. Let me start off with a brief introduction. So, self-intro. Basically, I'm a retired professor. I worked at Tottori University for 35 years and retired in 2018. And I'm a past chair of the Global Issues SIG. My interests are kind of very broad. Language learning, language teaching. I got involved with global education, 25, 30 years ago. I'm just very interested to see how global education, a new field, can connect with language teaching, teaching language for global citizenship. I've been involved with peace education, teacher training, and a lot of international youth exchange. So I have very broad interests. And again, we have within JALT this special interest section. This was Japan's third ever interest section, way back in the 1990s. A special group of JALT members who are interested in addressing global issues in the classroom. It was established in 1990. I was the founder and the chair for many years, and now I'm the newsletter editor. I've given you a copy here. We have a quarterly newsletter, comes out 4 times a year, 24 pages with all sorts of interesting information. What teachers are doing, teaching about the environment, about human rights, teaching about current issues and so on, promoting social responsibility, world citizenship. Again, take a look at the copy I've given you today. If you're interested, JALT members, I think it's fairly easy to sign up and get copies and so on. Non-JALT members can subscribe also 2,000 yen for a 1-year subscription, recommended. And I've been active with a lot of writing. On the handout I've given you with the additional work, the initial one here, got some samples of the books I've been involved with. I've written chapters in books such as Social Justice and English Language Teaching, Citizenship and Language Learning, some of the books you've got here. Becoming Community-Based Educators, this is a very new book, I've got a chapter in there. And also I've got this special textbook that Kin Sato asked me to put together based on kind of the work I've been doing, promoting international awareness, language, culture, and so on. It's an EFL text called Off to the World, Adventures in Language and Life. And Japan Times has a special student newspaper, Alpha English newspaper. And since 2011, they said, could you please write a column, just, different easy English essays about cultural things, international topics. So I've been doing that for many years. If you go online, you can find information about my Japan Times essays, kind of interesting. Also, since I retired, I've got thousands of books in my home. My wife is looking at me, saying, please, these books about peace education, global education, applied linguistics, send them off to teachers who can use them because you're retired. So if you're interested at all, do get in touch. I've got a large number of books, English, Japanese, books about history, culture, language, geography, war and peace, religion, human rights, so many things. And this book sale is 30% of all sales goes to support NGOs, specifically Amnesty International, Doctors Without Borders, Kokkyo, Naki Ishidan, Save the Children, trying to sell books on global education and support NGOs doing good work. So if you're interested, get in touch about that. Okay, let's talk about backgrounds a bit. I'll start with myself. We'll give you a chance in a minute. So my background, I'm Canadian from the west coast of Canada, born and bred in Vancouver, British Columbia. And as you know, Canada is a bilingual country, but I was born in British Columbia, very British, okay? French is here in Quebec, and in British Columbia, no chance to speak French, but because Canada is a bilingual nation, age 12, we had to study French, and all my friends hated French. However, my mother was a fluent French speaker. My mother, in 1949, as a young university student, University of Toronto, got a scholarship to go to Paris to study at the École Polytechnique, I think, for 1 year, and she came back fluent. So I grew up in British Columbia, English only, and my mother, every week she had a Friday French group. She'd sit and speak in French with her friends, and I said, wow, they're talking a strange language. It's a code, I have to break the code. Just having a role model of someone speaking a language very fluently, I said, whoa, I want to understand what they're saying. French, I've got to get involved. So, from age 12, I started studying French, junior high school, senior high school, university, first, second years, studying very hard. In high school, I picked up German. Second year of high school, there was a German teacher who just arrived, a new immigrant from Germany. He was teaching history because he was a historian, but the principal said, hey, why don't you teach a class on German language? Maybe somebody will sign up. And my friend said, we hate French, maybe German will be better. So we all joined, and I took French and German. 7 years of French, school French. 4 years of German, school German. And second year university, I realized I couldn't speak French and I couldn't speak German, even though I was a language major. I said, this can't be. How can you study a language for 7 years, French, and you can't speak it? Test, no problem. Translation, no problem. Reading the books, no problem. But I couldn't communicate in French or German after studying for years and years and years. So that frustration said, well, if school cannot teach me how to speak a foreign language, forget them. I'll go off, drop out, and go to Europe, see the world. This is young me. Embarrassing photographs. My mother said, are you crazy? Dropping out of university in the 1970s, you'll go on drugs, you'll never go back, your life will be ruined. But I was young and very stubborn. I said, I'm going, I want to get French like you, and it's not working in university. So my frustration trying to learn a foreign language drove me off to go to Europe, and that led to a 4-year trip around the world. Interesting, language learning frustration gets you out, and suddenly your life changes. So I spent a couple of months going across Canada, flying off to England, about 1 year in England, working in Scotland, visiting relatives in Birmingham, living in Oxford, 3 months in London, East London with a Cockney, lots of adventures, excitement. Then finally down to Paris, my one aim. And Paris was nice. 3 months, I borrowed a television, rented a TV, and every day for about 6 hours with my dictionary, watched French television. This is real French, not like that textbook French back home. Taking notes, that's how they say it, slang and so on. And after 3 months, my French was pretty good, especially listening. I listen, go out and use French a little bit. And because studying, you're always sort of sitting watching TV with your notebook, I said, I need some exercise. Every night, I jogged around the Eiffel Tower, Champ de Mars Park. So study in the daytime, language, French, and so on. Every night, jogging around, sun setting, Eiffel Tower, very romantic feeling. I recommend you try. I got to Germany after France, and I got a job in a ski hotel. And for the first time, I was using real German, not textbook German, but using German to work in Germany in a ski hotel in Oberammergau, small town in Munich near the Alps. So very quickly, my German got good. From Europe, after spending about a year and a half, 2 years in Europe, I went off and did it across Asia. This is an overland trip from Germany, Austria, off into Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, then Turkey, Iran, and so on. It was really quite interesting. Every country, I said, I want to understand each country I go to overland, so I'll buy a book about the country, I'll buy a phrase book, and try to learn basic conversation and try it out, for 10 days or 2 weeks. 2 weeks in Turkey, 2 weeks in Iran, 2 weeks in Pakistan, 1 month in India. It's a big country. 2 weeks in Thailand, learning about countries and languages and just getting interested in this wide world we live in. When I finished, I said, okay, now I know what I want to do. I'll go back to university, finish my French, German, plus Japanese, the third language. Came to Japan, worked in Kobe for 2 years at the Kobe YMCA. And then I said, I don't need to know enough about language teaching. I'll go off and get a master's degree in applied linguistics at Reading University. Reading University is very famous for a communicative approach. 1980s, some of the big names were there. One of our professors was David Crystal. Now he's kind of an amazing, incredible expert on language. He's getting old, but he was the one who wrote the book, English is a Global Language. So some of his influence as a graduate student came to me about thinking globally, how language works, and how we can teach English as a global language to our students. From England, we were broke, my wife and I. I got married in Japan to my wife, Kazuko. We just finished a master's degree, no money, and a job came up, teach English in the Middle East. We went down to Jordan for 2 years. It was so different, hot desert country, Arab students, some Palestinians, right? Learning about Islam, studying the Arabic language, getting to know the Middle East situation. It was a very good 2 years. Both of us were very glad we did that. And then after that, a job came up. It was 2 years in the Middle East. It's about time to go back to Japan. My wife Casco's mother was saying, "Are you crazy? The Middle East is aflame. There's explosions every day. You're in danger. Come back to safe Japan." She was very worried. So we got a job in Tokyo University. And from the deserts of the Middle East, 2 years, we flew to the Tottori sand dunes. Strange feeling, from one sand dune to another sand dune. Tottori is famous for sand dunes in Japan. When I arrived, I sat down with the president saying, "We're going to hire you. I'm the president of Tottori University. Welcome. You just come from the Middle East. We'll give you a contract. We want you to stay as long as possible teaching English to our Tottori students." And he said something like this: "Kate Sensei, I have 2 requests." And we just signed the contract, my signature, his hanko, very formal, and my boss is saying 2 requests, okay? What are the requests? Number 1, teach our students to speak English. No problem. I've been teaching in Kobe, the Middle East, master's degree, I can do it. Second request, help our students to become international. I said, whoa, what do you mean? This is 1985, teach students English, help them become international. That was directly the 2 requests he made, and I took it seriously. Whoa, if he wants me to do that, I have to find out what it means to help students become international. That was the start of my work in global education. So for me, I've been looking at global education as an approach to language teaching. If we think about 6 different views of language teaching, we have first, language, English as a linguistic system. We have to teach nouns and verbs and so on. English is a school subject, textbooks, homework, tests and so on. English is also a language of eikaiwa. We want our students to be able to communicate in English. And English just happens to be the native speaker language of countries like the US and UK, so maybe we should teach something about those. Those are 4 very traditional views. What should we teach when we teach English? The system, English as a subject, kaiwa, conversation, and so on. But if you take a global education perspective, then you're looking at 2 more. Looking at English as a language to communicate with the world's people, and a language for learning about world topics. So here for me, I started experimenting. How can I teach English to students so they can communicate with Kenyans, Germans, Koreans, Arabs, Russians, and so on, teaching English for international communication, and teaching English as a language for studying about. Let's study in English about environmental issues, about different cultures, about different countries, content-based teaching. So back in the 1980s, this is all very new, but we were sort of pioneering a little bit. So today we'll be looking at some of the work I've done in a special course. And when the president said, help our students to become international, I said, well, if we want students to be world citizens, what do world citizens have to know? And how can I, as an English teacher, promote that content? So I basically broke it down to 3 things: world themes, world regions, world issues. Let's start with world issues. Global issues, world issues are big. They're in the media all the time, lots of vocabulary. Students should know something about global issues if they are to become responsible citizens of our world. This means teaching about war and peace, human rights, development, environment, all those issues. That's part of what it means. Secondly, world regions. I traveled around the world, Asia, Middle East, Africa. Wow, we should know something about these various regions of the world. This kind of, area studies, teaching about Europe, teaching about the Middle East, and so on. This is another aspect of teaching for global citizenship. And the third one, which we'll touch on today, is thematic teaching, teaching world themes, teaching about names around the world, teaching about world religions, world flags. It's kind of colorful, kind of interesting. So for me, in Tottori, I designed a special course, and of the different themes that I teach, we're going to take a look at world writing systems and world languages, these 2, but they're part of a global studies program that I designed for Tottori University, Why should we teach about world languages when we're English teachers? Let's see a few ideas, One reason is because it stimulates interest in language. Me and some of my colleagues believe that when students come to learn English, we want to teach them English as proficiently as possible to help them get their English as proficient as possible in the time we have, but also to raise awareness, to have students think about language as a special concept. Secondly, to raise awareness of the wider world. Studying about languages, writing systems in other countries, that gets your global awareness. If you study about languages and writing systems, those are skills and knowledge you can use for the rest of your life, as we'll talk about a little bit later. Students are kind of curious. Arabic, what kind of language is that? What's that strange writing system? That curiosity can help drive your content-based teaching. And when handled well, if you design your lessons, you can generate lots of good language learning. Reading, writing, speaking, listening, vocabulary, all sorts of different language tasks built around the topic of world languages and writing systems. And finally, just really, really interesting. Students, when they come to class, wow, that was a really interesting class. We learned about this language, those writing systems. They're buzzing. And that is also something good to help get students motivated. Okay, world languages. We're going to start off, okay, with our first topic, world writing systems. And what I'll do is I'll hand you a few handouts. We're going to jump off to our second PowerPoint, if I can find it here. And we'll get you buzzing quite soon. World writing, here we go. Okay. Yeah, we got it. Okay. So what we're going to do, we'll do world writing systems, then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back for part 2, world languages. But world writing systems we'll jump into. My lesson is a 90-minute lesson on writing systems around the world, and it consists of 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So in general, for my classes, 90 minutes, that's a long time, okay? When students arrive, you want to have something to get them going, to energize them. I usually throw in a quiz to start them going, get in groups, here's a quiz, wow, do you know, and so on. Students using their knowledge, getting a bit of buzz, getting some energy to kick off the lesson. Once you finish the quiz, then you get into studying. Okay, the quiz got us interested, now let's look in more detail about this, that, and the other thing. If we study about world writing systems, I want students to acquire that knowledge. Can you identify that sign? Do you know what writing system that is in the newspaper? So you do a mini test in the classroom, and then some homework assignments. So today, very briefly, this 90-minute lesson will compress into a shorter time. You'll have a chance to become students. We'll play with some of these ideas, okay? And the topics themselves, warm-up quiz we'll do in a second. We're going to study 10 alphabets. Whoa, special chance. We'll look at the historical backgrounds, special features of different alphabets. You'll have a chance to learn about them, and then I'll also test you. Can you identify that writing system, that script, that alphabet, and so on? And finally, homework tasks you don't have to do, but this is what my students will do, okay? Good. So we need maybe groups of, I want to get groups of 3. You can have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, maybe? Jump up, if you jump up here, 1, 2, 3, and I'll come and join here, maybe 1, 2, 3, okay?
All these handouts nothing that you had to have been here for.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
So, groups of 3, you're going to have to work together. The opening quiz I use every semester for my global studies class teaching about world writing systems, and it's a very easy quiz, okay? I'm going to give you some examples. Your task, what alphabet is that, what language, and what country is it used for, okay? So, about 3, 4, 5 minutes, you have 8 writing systems. There you go. And I'll put it in the PowerPoint as well. This handout has 8 different writing systems, okay? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And down at the bottom, you have to write the number. Number 1, what's the name of the alphabet? Number 2, number 3. Good luck, please start.
It's like it feels like it's around there. Yeah, we're Vietnamese.
Answers are right down here.
Yes.
The answers will be down here. Numbers at the bottom. These are answers. Just fill in the numbers at the bottom. Number 1 is Cyrillic.
Russian. So I'm a Chinese student, and it's similar. So these look similar to me, and no, they're not. But I think Russian too. And what else is?
Devanagari is going to be the 4th. That's kind of that is a Sanskrit form in Hindi. we've got 62513477.
This one we have.
This is gonna be time here. Yep. And I went to the school under the Greek, that's theta right there. Yeah. What is bigger than Greek?
Yeah, that's my guess. Yes, it's a guess.
Oh, okay.
So
Hebrew is fine. Yep. I don't know how to read Hebrew.
You can identify it.
Yes.
I understood
pretty well.
already.
Yeah. It's very straightforward. You don't have to be able to read if you identify with the script.
Ah. So we know some of the Greek symbols,
Wait, the answer's gonna go.
like ame, omega, right? So that one actually feels closer to
I
me
used to have a
than.
quiz game with my students, so language would know what they're right to see.
Well, if I look more carefully at it,
That's my
it's like
Those are the same.
Yes, so I would say this one's Russian and this
That is
one's
Cyrillic.
Greek.
I believe that's Cyrillic Russian. Well,
That's
there's
my
a
guess.
Ukrainian, there's Russian, there's.
Just a guess, yeah,
One
yeah.
has an extra K, one has an extra X.
Okay, good. So which ones are
A, C, like they don't have an X. Girls like us too. And it's the same thing for survival. I don't need this.
This one, I think so too, yeah, yeah. So that one's
Up there, you can see.
okay, so we're into Hebrew and Arabic, those are the two that we're kind of.
Maybe.
I have no idea. I recommend this one and
Okay,
this
that's
one.
like super.
I've seen this, but I cannot read, of course.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
it's
revival.
Yeah,
Wake up, say goodbye to Shana Cakes.
yeah, I think so. I think this one is Arabic. Which means this one would be Indian, like this one. India, which is I don't know.
You're right.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's okay too.
I only,
And then what else do we need after that?
Okay.
Yeah, I need to be
As you can
sure
see,
about the alphabet.
this is a 90-minute lesson studying about world writing systems, but you want to get something to kick things off. Students in groups of 3 or 4, you give them this, it's visually interesting. They say, well, I know that one, I know this one, whatever. Students are sharing their knowledge a little bit, they're puzzling a bit. It's kind of a nice way to start off, gets a bit of buzz, some energy and excitement, and then you can test the answers. So we'll do maybe team 1, this row, and team 2, this row. Wow, team 1 and 2. First one, let's try this one. What is that writing system? What do you think?
Cyrillic.
And we'll go over here. Mary, what do you think?
We thought we were like Greek.
The answer is Greek, yeah. This is the Greek alphabet used to write the Greek language in the country of Greece. So you want to get students this idea, basically you have a writing system for a language in a country. Greek alphabet, Greek language in Greece. Number 2, let's go over here and we'll go, yeah, Tomoko. Number 2, your idea?
Number 2 is Thai.
Thai, maybe, yeah. And what do you think? Our next team, number 2.
Oh, number 2 is Hindi.
Okay, the answer is Thai. This is the Thai alphabet for writing the Thai language in Thailand. Thai alphabet we'll study in a bit. Very interesting looking language, looking alphabet. Number 3, let's go down to the guys in the back on the left-hand side. Yeah, this one? Which one would you say?
I'm thinking Arabic.
Okay, and our young lady here?
Arabic as well.
You are right. This is the Arabic alphabet used for Arab nations, Egypt, Saudi, Kuwait, and so on. Yeah, the Arabic alphabet. And we'll study this in a bit. Next one, number 4, brown shirt. Yeah. That's you.
Number 4. We say Canadian.
Canadian, okay, good. And over here?
Number 4, we said Devanagari.
Okay, it is Devanagari, yeah. Devanagari is the name of the alphabet for writing Hindi and Sanskrit in India. So country is India, language Hindi or Sanskrit, Devanagari alphabet, which we'll study in a bit, yeah. Number 5, let's go in the corner, yeah, our treasurer. Number 5 is?
We said that was Hebrew.
Okay, and over here?
We believe also it is Hebrew.
And it definitely is the Hebrew alphabet for the Hebrew language used in Israel. Good. Back to the front, 6. We'll go back to my colleague from Shimane. Which one, number 6?
Ooh, this one. Okay, so we were wrong on that one, so I'm going to guess. Which one is it? Oh, Cyrillic. Back to
Cyrillic.
my
Okay,
Cyrillic.
you already?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it is Cyrillic. So Japanese, the name for Cyrillic is Kirill. You know, it's named after Saint Cyril. Kirill Moji, but in English, the Cyrillic alphabet used for writing Russian in Russia. The Cyrillic alphabet. Good. Number 7 is not so common nowadays. Tomoko, what's this alphabet?
Egypt.
What's the name of the alphabet?
Hieroglyph.
Yeah, hieroglyphics, okay? So hero means sacred, glyph means writing, sacred writing, the writing of the ancient Egyptians for the gods and so on. Hieroglyphics, Japanese, what do you say, shoke moji maybe or something? Yeah. Hieroglyphics are used to write ancient Egyptian, which was a language used in ancient Egypt. Good. And last one. Yeah, we'll try next, the back. Yeah. Number 8. Only one left. Yeah, this is the Hangul alphabet used to write the Korean language in Korea. Interestingly, Japanese, when you say Hangul, that means the spoken language in Nihongo, right? But in English, Hangul is the writing system and Korean is the language. So you say, hey, make sure to not to mix those up. So, quick, easy introduction. Okay, you've got 8 different things. Students come in, welcome to class, quiz, wow, buzzing away, checking the answers, getting a bit of information. And then this is where the English comes in a little bit. Let's do some practice again with your groups. Yubisashi with your finger. Number 1, what alphabet is this? Oh, that's Devanagari. What alphabet is this? What alphabet is this? Number 2, which alphabet is Cyrillic? That's number something, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions with your team. Take turns practicing these questions. Number 1 is a finger pointing question.
Spoken in Russian. Oh, thank you.
The alphabet is A, is not for
I have a copy of this for a guest that came in.
Maybe that's the Korean.
Set this for here, yeah, and this is a set, yeah.
That's a set?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I have a sticker.
So which alphabet is this?
Silly.
What alphabet is this?
It's the Devanagari.
Oh, there you go. That one. What alphabet is this?
Devanagari is beautiful word.
Right, okay, what alphabet is this?
What alphabet?
Hangul, that's right. What alphabet is this? Oh, we just call it Hangul, okay, good. And then what alphabet is this? Okay, what alphabet is this?
It becomes very
Okay, good. Okay, so we're not perfect on it, but we're not too bad. All right, so number 2, which alphabet is this?
Silly.
Okay, so which alphabet is Cyrillic? Russian. Oh, no. Number 6.
Okay. So this is again processing. You're starting off a lesson for me, 90 minutes, something visual, quiz, and here you're checking the answers. And this one has a chance for students to get familiar. Devanagari, that's hard to pronounce. What alphabet is this? Number 4, that's the Devanagari alphabet. Vocabulary, pronunciation, in a sort of a pair activity, students sort of get familiarized, stage 1, with the vocabulary using, and a bit of grammar as well. What language is written, which alphabet is such, and so on. It's an easy start. From there we say, okay, Honban. Today we're going to study 10 alphabets around the world. We're going to have 2 handouts, okay? Handout number 1 is a profile handout. Profiles of 10 alphabets, and I'll give you this here. And the second one is a reference handout. Data about each of these scripts. The one is kind of a profile, the other one is a data handout. It's a profile handout. All of these, again, I've sat down and designed and played with. These are homemade handouts. But again, they're kind of fun. They've got a bit of visual appeal. Second is our reference handout. So this you can take a look as we go through these profiles and refer to the alphabets themselves. For advanced level students, I've used the second handout. For low level students, I've probably stick with the profile handout. But this is special knowledge. It's rare you get one handout with the actual alphabets and so on for each of these different things. Good, let's go. So we're going to start with our profile handout, okay? We'll work through one by one, a bit of reading, a bit of discussing, some background information, little tricks about the alphabets. And we'll start here with number one. Number one is the Latin alphabet, okay? In Japanese, Romaji. So maybe on the PowerPoint, you have, an example of some of the letters, and then you have this explanation. Can I ask you to read in a nice English teacher's voice, okay, our information about the Latin alphabet?
The Latin alphabet was invented by the ancient Romans. It's the most widely used writing system in the world. It has 26 letters and is written from left to right. It's used for languages such as English, French, and German. Some countries in Asia, many countries in Africa, and most countries in Europe use it to write their language.
Yeah. So for my students, it's a paragraph, very short. English, not so difficult, okay? Bit of information about who invented it, okay? How widespread is it? How many letters does it have? Where is it used, and so on. We said the Latin alphabet is used for English, French, and German. Asia, what countries in Asia have the Latin alphabet for their writing systems?
Not Vietnamese. Oh, does Vietnamese have?
Vietnamese does, yeah.
accent?
Vietnamese used to be,
It has a lot more accent.
yeah, they don't accent, but it's the basic Roman accent. Yeah, other ones in Asia?
In Asia?
Yeah.
Turkish.
Turkish also, yeah, true, yeah. Other ones? Malaysian, Tagalog, Philippines, and so on. So there's a number there. In Africa, again, many countries use the Roman alphabet. And Europe, again, most European countries, except for the Slav ones, use this one. It's a very basic information written in a style for my students. You want to throw the alphabet as well. This one, of course, all Japanese know. Elementary school, junior high school, no problem there. Capital letters and small letters. And pick up a map, okay? Where's the Latin alphabet used? It's pretty amazing. It's very widespread. North and South America, right? There's the Spanish down here. All Africa pretty well, except for the Arabic branch there, and except for Russia and so on. Bits and pieces here. Pretty widespread alphabet, and we're lucky as English teachers to teach this alphabet. I'll show you an example of the Latin alphabet that's not English. That's ABC, Roman alphabet, Latin alphabet. What language is it?
French.
Yeah, okay, so you get students to check, say, it's the Latin alphabet, but it's not French. Naruhodo. Easy. Number two is Greek. Can we go maybe to our next expert? Number two, Greek, can you read? Teacher's voice.
The Greek alphabet was developed by the ancient Greeks. It has 24 letters and is written from left to right. Some letters are similar to English, K and X. Others are quite different.
Pi,
Pi,
sigma,
sigma,
delta.
delta. It's the writing system of Greece, and then it's used in sentence and mathematics.
Yeah. So you can see this Greek paragraph is exactly the same structure, basically recycling vocabulary. It was developed by, right? It consists of, it's written from left to right, and so on. So students are basically recycling very basic vocabulary. And the Greek alphabet, let's see if we can get that off of here. We do have, if we look at the example, okay, where it is, okay, Aegean Sea all around here, ancient Greece, throw a map up. The alphabet itself, I was 12 years old. I said, the Greek alphabet, I've got to master this. So I memorized the alphabet. It's just so interesting. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, theta, and so on. Alphabet comes from alpha and beta, the first two letters of the Greek alphabet. That's where we get the word alphabet. Most of us know bits and pieces, right? Omicron, whoa, COVID-19. COVID, thank you. You helped us to teach the alphabet. Okay, but it's very special. And students know this alphabet. If you take science, mathematics, we use these symbols and so on. It's not that strange or foreign. For students to be able to learn, I say, I recommend, age 12, I memorize, you can do it as well. But at a minimum, if you memorize these letters, you can start reading Greek. So gamma is G, that's a G, right? Delta is a D, D. Theta is TH, th. lambda is L, mu is M, pi is P, rho R, P is an R, sigma is an S, this is an F, and this is chi, which is a K. If you memorize those, you can start to read Greek, okay? For example, here we have our example from the earlier quiz, and we can take it maybe this one there. Can you read this? Can you figure this out? It's a Greek word, but if you know our little tricks, we've got N-O-E, this one here?
Mu.
Mu, yeah, noembi, that one?
Ro.
Yeah, noembriu, November, okay? This is the word November in Greek language. Noembrio, November, okay? Second one, what about this one? Can you read this? We have A, K, next one
Okay.
is R, right? O, next. Pi is a P, P, O. That's an L, lambda, L, I, sigma is an S. Acropolis. The Acropolis is that famous ancient Greek ruin in the middle of downtown Athens. So you can throw some examples with students, say, wow, this is doable. You know this and that. You can start reading Acropolis and various things. It's the way to get involved. Number 3, let's go a little bit longer and look at Cyrillic alphabet. And can we have one of our teachers in the back? Can you read our Cyrillic paragraph, please?
The Cyrillic alphabet was invented by a Christian priest named Saint Cyril in the 9th century AD. It was 33 letters. Some letters are similar to the Latin alphabet, K, M, O. Some are similar to Greek.
So you have a P, a G, a D, and an L, yeah?
Others are unique.
Sh, Ch,
And the
and
backwards R symbol,
Ya.
Cyrillic, is the writing system used in Russia.
Good, okay. So this is a very short paragraph about this then. This is interesting. One man, Saint Cyril, invented an alphabet for the Russian people. Why? Why would he do that? Because he was a Christian missionary. If they can't read the Bible, their saves won't be sold. So for missionary reasons, he said, I will invent an alphabet. These Russians don't have any written alphabet. So the alphabet is named in his honor. 9th century, pretty amazing, one guy to invent an alphabet. And 33 letters again, some are similar, some like Greek, and these letters are kind of special. Ya is a backwards R, it means I. I am Kip Cates, Ya Kip Cates. So Ya, the sound, the backwards R, and the meaning I. We've got our map again. Russia, of course, but all the former areas of the Soviet Union. I was traveling, Bulgaria, East Germany, and so on. People speak a bit Russian. You get to see this Cyrillic alphabet here and there. The alphabet itself is great. This is A, B, V, G, D, A, and so on. Looks a little bit, same as English. These are the Latin alphabet. Some the same as Greek. We have our pi, which is a P, the R over here. So again, if you learn maybe these ones, I recommend. B, this is a G, this is a D, this is an L, lambda L. P for pi, this is an R. C's are S's in Cyrillic, okay? That's an F, Ch, and Ya, which means I. Backwards R is I. And we can do some examples. This is the example we had in the quiz. Let's pick up maybe one word from this. What about this one there, okay? Pop that up. You should be able to read that. It's an English word written in the Cyrillic alphabet. Good. Par. That's an F. Perfumery, which means perfume store in the Russian language, okay? So if you know P, R, F, and then there's another R here, you got it. You're starting to read bits and pieces of Cyrillic. Another one. What about this one? This is a very famous newspaper. P.
Pravda.
Good. A. V. That's a V. That's a delta. D. Pravda was one of the most famous newspapers in the Soviet Union, right? Pravda means truth in Russian. Interesting name for. What about this one? Can you get this?
I will say that thing.
Good. Yeah, we've got R, O.
S.
C is S, S, I, and the last one is? Ya. Rossiya is the word for Russia in Cyrillic, okay? So again, you want students to say, wow, this is, you can actually get involved. It's not some strange thing, no way I could understand it. You inch in, get them saying, wow, a bit of study, a couple of letters, suddenly you can start deciphering bits and pieces. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 is the Hebrew alphabet from Israel. And let's go over here. We can go, yeah, maybe in back, and we get you to read the Hebrew profile.
Sure. The Hebrew alphabet was invented in the Middle East in the 2nd century BC. It has 22 letters. It's usually written only with consonants, not vowels. It's written from right to left. Hebrew letters look like square blocks. It's the writing system for Israel used by Jewish people.
Good, okay, again, very short, compact paragraph. And the basics. It's old, this alphabet, right? Getting back to the 2nd century BC, and was revived when Israel became a state in 1948. 22 letters, not too difficult. And interesting, it's written only with consonants, not vowels in general. So again, you can show a map, and the alphabet itself, for me, it looks like katakana. Very katakana, kind of block style, right? It's kind of, you know, katakana, you've got bits and pieces that, that's like a Japanese rope. Okay, this is different things. It's very distinctive, okay? And again, it's, yeah, from left to right. Alphabet, aleph-bet, the same basic concepts as Greek and so on. Once we talked about consonants and vowels, in general, Arabic and Hebrew, they write consonants, but they don't write long vowels, not so necessary. Most of the things are consonants only. So what's a consonant? A consonant is a sound like k, p, t, f, s, b, r, m, basic linguistics for students. Vowel is a, I, u, a, o. But they don't write the vowels? How can you understand? Strange, isn't it? And yet, interesting, linguists have found, studying various languages, that vowels are not so necessary. Consonants carry meaning. Vowels, kazari, maybe, you know, they have some purpose, but without the vowels, the consonants can get the meaning across. Students say, hey, Sensei, is that true? I say, let me give you an example. I'm going to put a sentence up here, an English sentence with no vowels. If you can understand the sentence, then that proves my point, maybe, okay? You ready? Here's the sentence. No vowels there at all, okay? And the students say, ah, Mr. Cates is a handsome guy. So true, right? So here, what you've done is showing that, you know, this is the way Arabic and Hebrew operate. You don't need the A's and the E-I-O-U's and so on. Mr. Cates is a handsome guy. That's good enough. Vowels are not so necessary. That's why Arabic and Hebrew, in general, don't write long vowels especially, okay? Interesting. Number 5, let's go into Arabic. Arabic, yeah, and yeah, can we get our next person?
Arabic. The Arabic alphabet was developed in the Middle East. It has 28 letters. It's written from right to left, the opposite direction to English. It's written with consonants, not vowels. It's the writing system of Arab nations in North Africa, Morocco, Egypt, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Islamic nations like Pakistan and Iran. The Muslim holy book, the Quran, is written in Arabic.
Good, thank you, yeah. So Arabic, it belongs to the same language family as Hebrew. They both, you know, are Semitic languages. So again, writing consonants, not vowels. 28 letters. When we have Arab students come to Totoro University, our Japanese students, you know, where are you from? I'm from Sudan, I'm from Egypt, I'm from Saudi. What's your writing system? Arabic alphabet. Oh, it must be so difficult, say my Japanese students. And the Arabs laugh, ha, 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 ha. 28 letters in our alphabet, you've got 2,000 kanji, are you crazy? Which one's difficult? And again, it's an image thing. People say, wow, it looks so exotic, I could never possibly learn that. But it's an alphabet. Sit down for an hour or two and you can start reading. So Arabic alphabet, again, let's look at the spread. It's widespread, okay? I lived 2 years in Jordan, right there. That's where I got my Arabic done. But all across North Africa, different variations of the spoken language, but the same written script. It's both an active, you know, writing system used for daily life, and also it's a religious writing system used for the Quran. Therefore, in Indonesia, other countries that are non-Arab but Muslim, they will use the Arabic alphabet for their religious purposes. When I arrived in the Middle East, living 2 years in Jordan, teaching English at the National University, our teacher said, let's start. Off you go, from left to right. It's an alphabet. Take a bit of time. There are tricks about when you put letters together, they change forms, like cursive in English a little bit. So those are the tricks of it, saying if it's in the initial position, you write it this way, in the middle that way, in the final position. So that's a bit of a situation, but in general, not too bad. S looks kind of, a sideways, kind of a series of things. Has lots of 2 dots is a T, 3 dots is a deep T, and so on. Interesting writing system, and just an alphabet. For Arabic and Hebrew, you're writing not from left to right, but from right to left. For students, that's an interesting concept to look at. So from English, we write left to right. Writing a sentence, you start here and you start going over there. For example, anybody got a good sample sentence? Oh, what the heck, let's use this one, shall we? Mr. Cates is a handsome guy. Since it's, it's in the air now. If I were to write this, it'd be Mr. Cates is a handsome guy. From left to right, that's what we're brought up with. Living 2 years in the Middle East with Arab students, they said, wow, that's so unnatural. Hey, what do you mean? No. Arabic is much better. Same sentence. Mr. Cates is a handsome guy. What's the difference? You're pushing away with English, and the Arab student said, oh, your hand must get so tired pushing away. Oh my God. Whereas here, you're pulling towards yourself. It's really easy. Arab students said, Mr. Cates, we feel sorry for you English writers. Why? Because you're tired all the time. No, I'm not. Yes, Arabic is so much more natural. And there's a cultural logic there. In some ways I can see what you're getting at. Interesting. So right to left, left to right, students can play around with that idea a little bit. Let's go to the next one, hieroglyphics. Yeah, in the back, maybe our next writer. Can you read hieroglyphics, please?
Hieroglyphics were developed by the ancient Egyptians in 3000 BC. They're similar to Japanese since letters show both sounds like kana and ideas like kanji. Hieroglyphics look like pictures. They can be written from left to right, right to left, or top to bottom. To find out where a sentence begins, look at the people and animals. They always look towards the beginning of the sentence.
Good, thank you. This is an old writing system. So Chinese kanji and hieroglyphics both are equally old, 3000 BC, incredible. And a lot of people say, well, they must be so exotic, but the Japanese writing system and the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic writing system are basically the same. Kana, kanji, sounds, and concepts, okay? So for Japanese, you've got sounds, ah, okay, and a symbol, that's a sound, that's an ah, that's a car, okay? Hieroglyphics, exactly the same logic. You have a sound, this lion is L in the hieroglyphic alphabet, but some are maybe things. Here may be a priest, okay? That's L, and that's a priest. Kana kanji for Japanese, wow, same system, quite interesting. And let me give you a copy of the hieroglyphic alphabet. Take a look. This is, my mother was a hieroglyphic scholar. She used to have books. I've played around with it. I can read a few basic things. But once you get into it, it's fun. Take a read, take a look at some of the symbols. There is the hieroglyphic alphabet. Wow. Read through, browse a bit. This is what we're dealing with. And at the bottom, there are also some of the kanji for man, woman, for life, for protection, and so on.
Only written by a scribe.
Yeah, this is sacred language, hiro. Hiro means sacred glyphic. Yeah, not allowed by the local people. Thematic was more the daily life script for ancient Egypt. For Japanese students, emoji, manga, very visual. They connect, saying, "Wow, I like this already." It connects with their feelings in a way. They're cute little, we have animals here, lions and snakes and birds. We've got some things from daily life in ancient Egypt, little fans and cups and so on, hands. It's a visually interesting alphabet. And again, 3000 BC, this very, very, very long history. So the two tricks I teach students about the hieroglyphic alphabet, trick number one, okay, is that the names of people are always put inside a special box called a cartouche. So people's names are inside a cartouche. So here you can say, that's a person's name, okay? Oh, that's a name, usually of kings and queens and so on. Here on the handout I've given you at the bottom, the cartouche for Ptolemy and Cleopatra with the alphabet. Cleopatra, Cleopatra, and so on. So this is a good trick to have. If it's inside a box, it's the name of the king, Ramses, Hatshepsut, and so on. Cartouches is a name box. And second trick, totally useless but interesting trick, is that the people and animals always look at the beginning of the sentence. So if you have here ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, a sentence, where do you start reading? Most people don't know. But if you take a look, where is everybody staring? Everybody's staring there. Ah, they're staring at the beginning of the sentence. You start here and read down, down, down. Sometimes it's flipped. They're staring over there, and that's the start of the sentence. So it's so interesting. Everyone stares at the beginning of the sentence. Look where they're staring. Start reading here. I can't read, but I know where the beginning of the sentence is. Totally useless skill. Impress your friends and relatives, okay? Students say, wow, I know something about hieroglyphics, but I can't read any of them. Okay. So again, if you're interested, on the back here, there's a nice Japanese handout I throw as well for students and so on. Studying, looking at this very old system, it's kind of special to look at. Moving along, let's go to number 7, India, Hindi, Devanagari. Matt, could you read this one, please?
Yes. The Devanagari alphabet is one of the main writing systems in India. It's used to write Indian languages such as Hindi and Sanskrit. It has 47 letters which hang down from a straight line. It looks like laundry hanging out to dry on a clothesline. It's written from left to right.
Good, thanks. Again, this is a very interesting alphabet. It's used in India for mainly Hindi, Sanskrit also, and a few other languages. India has a lot of languages, but it's the main writing system. So you've got consonants here. They're all kind of interesting, right? They have this little bar at the top and things hanging down from them. Vowels down the bottom here, a little bit more complex. And once you see it, it's so distinctive. You say, that's got to be Devanagari, which means it's probably Hindi from India, okay? And for students to say, to recognize it, just think, there's Devanagari alphabet. There's some laundry hanging out to dry. That looks pretty similar, okay? Once you have that image, things hanging down, Devanagari alphabet, Hindi, Sanskrit, India, it catches. Kind of interesting metaphor to use. Number 8, next one, let's go to Thai. Yeah, Thai, could I ask you? Yeah, thanks.
The Thai alphabet is similar to the writing systems of Laos and Cambodia. It has about 59 letters and is written from left to right like English. Thai letters look like curved vertical sticks with little circles on them. The Thai alphabet is used only in Thailand.
Yeah. So again, 59 letters, that's a pretty big alphabet, 59, okay? But it's quite unique, okay? Used in Thailand, it's a little bit connected to some of the other related writing systems in neighboring countries. But the special features, small circle and curved lines, okay? You have a line, and a circle. You have a circle, a line here. Sticks, circles, it's distinctive. Once you get in your head, wow, I can catch this almost anywhere. So if you see this, circle, stick, circle, stick, circle, stick, something quite interesting. It's kind of like a heart mark here, I guess, a little bit. But Thai is easy to recognize once you get that, sticks and circles. Number 9, Myori, can I ask you to do Hangul, please?
The Hangul alphabet was invented by the Korean ruler, King Sejong, in the year 1443. It has 24 letters and is written from left to right, like English. Hangul is the writing system of North and South Korea. Koreans are very proud of their writing system. In South Korea, there's a special day each year called Hangul Day on October 8th.
Yeah, thank you. So do you know the story of King Sejong? 1443, until that time, Koreans used Chinese kanji. It meant only the very educated elite could write. Common people couldn't write their own language. Chinese kanji were not suitable for the Korean language, totally different language. King Sejong was a democratic king. He said, I want an alphabet, not for an alphabet, one that we design for ourselves as Koreans that will be easily learned, that every Korean can use in daily life. He set up a committee. He said, you got 1 year, I want an alphabet, okay? And the committee were kind of linguistically oriented scholars. They said, if the tongue goes here, then maybe the sound could be like a tongue there, based on the sound, the mouth shapes and the tongue and so on. And they came up with the Hangul alphabet. 1 year, a committee commissioned by the king to democratize, also to bring an alphabet for pride of themselves. So from 1443, suddenly, kanji, they used kanji in South Korea, North Korea, until 1960s, 70s, and then there was a big revolution. The Hangul alphabet political parties were stronger, kanji disappeared from the newspapers, disappeared from the writing system. Now, people can write their name in kanji. I'm Kim, so it'd be Kim for the kanji for money, for example, but all the newspapers are pretty well Hangul. And this interesting idea, October 9th is Hangul Day. Hangul Day, a day to recognize the alphabet that our king commissioned, that is for Korean, that all of us can learn. It's supposed to be the easiest alphabet to learn. Just a couple of hours you can learn it. What about Japanese? Do we have a hiragana no hi? Hiragana Day every year? We celebrate hiragana? English, do we have Alphabet Day? Let's all celebrate the alphabet. We don't, but Koreans do. And on October 9th, Hangul Day, basically it's shodo, doing calligraphy and beautiful Hangul like we do in Japanese in the New Year's times. Good. Special map just to show where Korea is. Again, it is kind of katakana style. Consonants are here, vowels are here. One of the easiest writing systems in the world to learn. Okay, we'll go to our last one, number 10. Number 10 is Chinese. Here's our example from the quiz. And Tomo, can you read our last one, Chinese, please?
Oh. The Chinese writing system has no alphabet, only special characters called ideograms. These were invented by the ancient Chinese in about 3000 BC. Chinese characters look like little pictures. There are about 40,000 of them, but only 3,000 are necessary for daily life. Chinese characters are used in China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore, and also in Japan and Korea.
Okay, thank you. So again, this Chinese writing system, 3000 BC, the same age as ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, 5,000 years of history, pretty amazing. And 40,000 you need to get by. 3,000 daily life, but still that's a big burden, and there's no hiragana, no katakana. Those kanji characters are essential. So, kanji-ken, Japan, Taiwan, all these areas are part of the kanji, regional area. There are two types. We have traditional characters used in Taiwan, Japan, slightly modified, and the simplified. Mao Zedong, no takedo, right? Simplify the characters, so you have mainland communist Chinese characters and the more traditional ones in Taiwan, Japan. And Japanese, they can connect. Japan is part of the kanji cultural area. So when you see a sentence like this in Chinese, 我国东京大表当会, whatever, in Japanese it'd be 我国的我个国头谁代表 It's understandable, okay? Our country's political parties represents a certain. It's easy to understand. So Japanese students have a special connection to the Chinese alphabet. Okay, you can play around with maps and so on to show the different geographical spread of each of these writing systems. But 10 alphabets we studied, okay? Reading, bit of PowerPoint going through these. You can throw a quiz. Quiz is pretty basic. Latin alphabet invented by ancient Romans, that's true. 30 letters Greek alphabet, that's false, and so on. That's pretty basic. Have students go through that. But what I like to do is do something special. In the class, cognitive study, information, interesting stories about alphabets is to say, yatemio, let's try. So if you go to your quiz paper, on the back there's some blank boxes. Take 2 or 3 minutes and choose 3 of these alphabets. Try writing them. Write some hieroglyphics, write some Cyrillic, write some Devanagari. Good. Take a second, grab a pen, and choose freely any of the 10 writing systems we chose. Write your name, copy what you found in the handout as you like. If you copy Arabic or Hebrew, make sure to write from right to left, opposite direction to English. scribe. Send your resume to Ramsey's, you know, hiring you. Try to get a cartouche for your name. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what cerebral is.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly now. Everything else has seemed pretty well.
I thought that was like the absent key placement on the front, middle, and back, but that was also power right there.
Yeah, because Arabic has, you know, they have two levels. For D, there's a regular D, there's a deep D, and they say but cerebral is an unusual try. I haven't chased that down. If you catch that down, basically more koala kind of thing. D versus dot. In the throat, maybe. Pharyngeal, perhaps. Okay, when you're ready, groups of 2, groups of 3, talk to your friends. Which 3 alphabets did you choose? Why did you choose those alphabets? And how did it feel to actually write those? With your small group of 3, which alphabet did you write? Why did you choose that? How did it feel to write it? Please discuss.
Thank you.
What's that? What is that?
I chose scholarly because it's so the other try to write is so hard.
This one is. I gave up this one.
You just copy this?
That's what I was.
That's good, that's good, that's good.
What did you?
Well, that's the style.
Yeah, this one was easy.
Why did you choose style? Because of interesting names.
That's a good one.
The circle and the straight line.
Those are cute. Really cute letters.
I started with hieroglyphics because I've always
It's
been fascinated with
yeah.
Well, you were there's one place in the world I want to go to. So I tried. So I don't know what I wrote, but I just thought and actually, it was easy. I mean, it's not beautiful what I've written, but actually, they're so simply done. It's actually easy to write.
Which one first?
If you are good at it. No, not even. I'm a terrible drawer. These are so, they're simple. They're actually more simple than they look. So it's quite beautiful. Especially like there's a duck. I love the duck. And I can draw. You can tell that's a duck. Right? Quite easily. So that's kind of surprising is that I can actually make something close enough to be read, which is I wouldn't have thought. So that's what I thought about that. And then I tried to write my name in Hangul. I wrote not extra days, but like when you combine it with the vowels, I was like, well, where do you put it in relation to the consonant? Do you put it inside? Do you put it on the outside? Like, so I was looking at this one, ko, for example. So there's the K, and then the low sound was this one. That's an O, right? And so they shoved them together. So I want a sound. So I have the C, and then I chose this one, but I don't know if that's the right one. And so I put it together like this, but I don't actually know if that's the right reading, or if they would put it somewhere else, or if they would put it, where do they, how do they attach them? So I'm interested in that. So I can get the point, but I can't be until I see an example of what this pass look like. I don't know where to attach it.
Yes, so I'm thinking about using and so that's what came up with, so that was ka, I just did ka. Sa, no, where's this one? No, I did they have a TH sound. So I did ka, and then RL. Is written, so if I think it's supposed to be written, when we say it, it's how does it get written? It's got ka, if I think so I have maybe E, but I don't know if I did. Yeah, I did, I guess. And then an N sound at the end. But I realized it's not binding, I get the concept, but I don't know how to do it. No, it's not, but it was
Okay, can I bring you back?
You see the similarity?
So from a language teaching point of view, let's stop language learning, we'll sit there and draw some things. You're wasting time, aren't you? And yet once students start explaining, because they have to explain in English, which you choose, I chose this, why did I choose it? Because I thought it was really beautiful. There's so much language going on, and the emotion, the motivation. Students say, look what I did, how do you like my Greek? Pretty cool, eh? So you've got students, excited about showing what they did, explaining why they did it, how it felt to write it. It was really difficult to write Arabic from right to left, because it feels very unnatural. What did you choose, one of your alphabets?
Oh, I chose Greek, Hebrew, and I attempted to do.
Okay. Was it easy to write, difficult?
Well, I actually forgot the other one was supposed to be right to left. So
Okay.
everything left to right.
Yeah, we're so used to things, yeah? What about for you? What did you choose?
I chose hieroglyphic.
Whoa, you're ambitious. She wrote in a cartouche her name. Oh. I think we should put it on a pyramid somewhere.
And then Arabic. I was trying to write Arabic.
Good, interesting. So why do this? Again, it gives a break to the lesson, a lot of cognitive input, gives students a chance to do something, that's non-cognitive, writing, tracing. The students who are artistic, they go wild, say, wow, let me get involved with these hieroglyphics. They have a lot of fun explaining which they choose and how it felt to write them and so on. It's a nice way of engaging students. Okay, we're getting towards the end of 90 minutes at the end of the class, and I say, students, on the midterm exam, these 10 writing systems will be there. So I want you to learn them. Today we'll do some practice. I have two kinds of practice tests before the final exam, okay? One practice test is newspapers. I've scanned some newspapers, we'll pop them up, we'll see if you can identify which writing system it is.
So ready for this.
Here we go. Can you tell me what writing system that is? Is it Arabic? Is it Hebrew?
Cyrillic.
It's Cyrillic, right? Cyrillic alphabet. Yeah, this is again Pravda, P-R-A-V-D, Pravda, right? It's fairly old, 1970, I think, this particular, 1974, this newspaper, but it's a Russian newspaper in the Cyrillic alphabet. Number 2, this one.
Thai.
Whoa, you got it, okay? Even if you know nothing about the Thai alphabet, wow, circle stick, that's got to be Thai, and of course it is Thai. And that's nice to be able to identify something so quickly. This one?
Arabic.
Yeah, Arabic alphabet, that's also pretty straightforward, okay? This is from an Iranian newspaper. This one?
Greek.
Greek, that's right. Can you read the name of the newspaper? Acropolis, that's right. Karamanlis was the prime minister at that time. Karamanlis, very controversial prime minister back in the 70s. And one more.
There's laundry hanging out one.
Reminds me, I have to go to the laundromat soon. Yeah, again, Devanagari. So a Hindi newspaper from India. So newspapers are fun. I've scanned these in, they're easy to do. And on the test, I'll have to do this kind of thing. It's also fun to do some real world examples saying, what we learned in class today, in 90 minutes, the rest of your life will be worthwhile. For example, you wake up in a foreign land, you've been kidnapped, you see a street sign. What writing system is it? What country are you in, okay? And students have to say, that is, yeah, that's the Thai alphabet, you must be in Thailand, okay? Or, for example, here, you see some protesters on the TV news, they're all holding posters, big demonstration, but what writing system is it, what country? alphabet is? Yeah, that's the Hebrew alphabet. So here is really demonstration, probably against Netanyahu at the moment, perhaps, okay? This one, your friend sees a poster on the wall. He asks you, hey, you know about world writing systems. What writing system is it? What country? What language is that? And the writing system is Devanagari. So yeah, it's going to be a Devanagari poster, probably in Hindi from India. One more, we can do something like this. You see an exotic book in the library. You open the book up and there's all this writing. What is it? And again, students can get it Arabic. So this is recognition. It's going to be on the midterm test. Students have to memorize, study the information, and on the midterm test, they write, explain about this alphabet, true or false, various things. I don't make them write the alphabets on the test, but they have to recognize them this style. Okay, homework tests. For homework, for this particular lesson, easy one is comments. What did you learn in today's class? What was interesting? What was surprising? And students write, I never knew about it. It was so interesting. I was surprised at such and such. Research. We studied 10, go off and research 3 more that we didn't study, okay? The maybe alphabet, Scandinavian runes or something, some ones that we didn't look at. Interview, we have foreign students from about 25 countries at Tokyo University. Go off, find foreign students and ask them, interview them about the alphabets. What country are you from? Sudan? What alphabet do you use? The Arabic alphabet? Tell me a bit more. I've got a newspaper here. Here's my cell phone. You can see such and such. Writing, as we did here, sometimes I'll say, go off and do writing a couple of the scripts and come back with a written report. I chose hieroglyphics. For me, it was very difficult, but I was quite interested and so on, writing. And again, memorize for the final exam. These will be all tested, so students are on their toes, being able to recognize things. Teaching resources, there's a lot online. Just type in writing systems or Sekai no Moji, Google, Amazon, YouTube, a lot there. The books I like in English, this is the classic. This is Akira Nakanishi, 1980s. He wrote a Japanese book, English translation. It's old. The newspapers I took scanned it from his book, but it's classic. More recently is Carol Donahue. There's some other books, Andrew Robinson, Scripts of the World, more for kids a little bit. Japanese, nice books, Sekai no Moji Jiten, Dictionary of Things. Japanese has a lot of good books. There's Sekai no Moji, World Writing Systems, Asian Writing Systems, Aji Moji Nyumon. And there's a series about writing systems, very colorful. It's called the Sekai no Gengoto Moji Nyumon series, I guess. Thai alphabet, the Islamic alphabet, Greek alphabet, and so on. Lots of stuff there. Finally, UNESCO has a new handbook, Writing Peace, saying if students around the world learn different writing systems, that helps open them up for international understanding, respecting other cultures, and so on. It's a new program, Writing Peace, teaching world writing systems for international respect and understanding. It's online. Check it out if you're interested. And again, a lot of YouTube videos as well. Okay, well maybe stop here, part 1. There's a lot of information, okay? I'm not going to test you on today's 10 writing systems, but I recommend, since we've done it, remember what they look like, turn the television on, saying, whoa, TV news, I recognize that writing system, Thai, Hebrew, and so on, useful things. We'll take a break, 10, 15 minutes.
Sounds good to me. Let's come back together at 35. Something I like to do with my students and also the teachers is I ask you to summarize. What did you see? What are the vocabulary words that you've learned today? What are the systems that Professor Cates has asked us to understand for his own students? Then finally, most importantly, connect it to yourself. Is this something you're going to be seeing in your classes? Maybe as a language learner yourself? Maybe something you're kind of curious about? Pass those ideas around, because probably you're not the only one. See you at 35.
Good. Break time.
You are a member? Yes, you are. I didn't check you. Yes. Can I ask you to take us a little later? Yes, yes. Okay, thanks for coming out. Nice to meet you in the flesh.
Very touching.
I think I might have asked you if they gave you 3 standard ones. Past in being an event, discussion topic, something we're doing here at Saitama. If I haven't already asked you that, I'm asking that. Let's imagine you are
Miori, can we eat in here? Is it okay to eat?
We cannot.
Okay.
We can eat outside on the ground, drink till they come with you.
Okay.
But at this point,
Yeah.
until tomorrow, I think the rules change.
Okay. I've got some snacks from Totori. I can pass them out, people can take them home.
Yeah, you know what, I think this is how you're heading out.
That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Teaching for grades.
Yes, yes, Okashi mo shuri mo kenki desu. Yes, I am.
Can you, I don't have a phone, I did the math by hand, would you reconfirm?
Yes.
And I got you. You got 26,
It's 2,500, 660 plus,
Yeah.
680 plus, 400 equals.
Thank you so much.
You can't eat in the room. That is not what I said. Okay. 1,740 plus 2,500.
Yeah, now it's they said it's been staying, but they asked us to keep paying every term instead of speaking. At least.
Do you have to pay one course credit, or do you have to pay the whole, like, I know
One
it.
course, but I have to keep paying it,
Oh.
which didn't before, just this year.
I did part-time
So
for a couple of years in
I don't know what to do with the money, and then they said, your limit
And then
is
actually
this May, which is impossible, because I
raised
was
my dad.
2018.
And then I
And
went
then I
back.
finished, I took 3 years like course for 3 years. So I mean, I've been just got into the
No, and I'm still
dissertation phase
full-time, I'm looking for
a year and a half.
Right.
But they said, you're gonna out of the program,
Like
you
jobs
you don't pay.
Right, right, yeah, so Temple has something like that too, even if you're not taking courses, you have to pay I haven't started with mine yet, but, not after, my friends who are doing it, it's pretty hard.
Anything beyond that is
And various
Where are you
places.
teaching now?
University of Saitama, so
But actually,
I
you have your
do
eggs in
go
lots of
to
baskets, so if
Four.
one university does one, you just form or whatever.
So I
It's as simple as it gets.
design one
Are
place,
you wanting to transfer to university?
and then they just.
Oh, what kind of visa do you have?
Is there anything specific you'd like to try, or?
Sorry.
So tell me what you're teaching.
So I forgot the receipts,
So, yeah.
is this the one? I think this is the one.
I do 2 universities, but I teach law. I've been to universities. The hours leave from
I have to study it. And yeah, and then also it's all condemnation. So I think about global issues.
Is it
And
Like much less than that, and I'm like, how would you teach more? Like, I just don't know. So I think some people get really good at.
I was thinking about this really good
Limited feedback, or very automated feedback, or very like time. I've only been doing it again, there's and so like, every year I get new courses that I tell them, and they learn my feedback.
came out and then
instead of just getting
that's taking that total.
Yeah, that's all
I think my
as
math is
part
right.
of the instructor. About another
So I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
cross
Happy to do.
I don't think
It's a tough time. It's a tough time.
Yes,
correct.
definitely.
Usually, and I need
Yes,
to study on those grades, like, and it's
Yes,
so I try to do those times.
and then the day
When I'm in,
I'm
when I'm working, I'm
capable of doing that.
Your students can all the time, and they finish, I had to get trades.
But getting into it first,
It's crazy.
I'm
doing a doctorate, yeah.
Probably the key.
Yes.
If there's
So,
a
Engaged, that's not engaged.
and raising
engagement.
children.
Yeah.
My my daughter's 15 and my son's 12. So we had a Japan year. Like, it's just been insane. It's absolutely crazy to even try to do it. And yet I'm still applying for full-time work for next year. But I don't know if I'll even get it. It's very competitive, like I said.
I would say
If you don't
first
try to
time
do
to
it,
change
it doesn't matter how good you
And
are.
also this is the first,
People want to know
that we've had here for
that you're gonna be, yeah, it's connections.
And also, they're not really
Yeah,
aware
like,
of
it's all about, I wanna book this person, so. It's just like, yeah, what's not, say, 12, we're here in 7, he works now, like, definitely find out how you get to.
native English speakers say, what do you mean by native English speakers?
So getting in,
How many percent of us natives nowadays?
hardest first step.
Yes.
No, I'm tired. So Chusa, she graduated yesterday, and then graduating next week.
But I tried to get one lesson about global languages. So now I think you say, what's a global language definition? There's a nice definition
Same generation. Right. Yeah. I'm a late mother, I'm a late marrier.
Latin was a global language.
Very tough. Yeah.
And
studying. So I'm technically a full-time student.
kind of full-time.
Yes, but full-time in a very like, in pockets of time, long pockets of time, but I still need breaks. And if I do have breaks, I could like, I finished my semesters like February 1st. And I took touched university here since then, so I don't know what's going on until March 12th, and I haven't done anything, but basically. So that's the beauty of part-time. There's no administration staff. But I'm ambitious as an educator, actually I want to be full-time. So I joined these activities and I joined the conferences and I present. My studies is more research I'm doing. Exciting, which is student research. And it's online. So I'm presenting. No, it's JALT. It's the country, but it's an online conference. It's student researchers presenting what they're doing, and it's really, I think it's great. It's not students and say what I'm doing. Make connections, and you never know who you're gonna meet. And I think that one person says, I know this professor who is doing this, you should contact them. You never know when that guy is gonna happen. You just never know. And so you always want to be putting, want to get better at speaking of your research. And hear what people have to say, and they ask different questions.
Yes, I'm really excited.
So it's always by myself. I'm doing online doctor. And I'm like, I always think very good that you should. Sometimes as soon as I have the other person in dialogue,
Like an Afghan, they go, wow, I didn't know.
I hadn't thought of that. You know, like, thank you for opening that door. Thank you for like closing that door, or whatever it is, like, because I'm always thinking and working for myself, but myself is very well, I just think you really get farther if you're in dialogue with anyone. Totally, just getting somebody's idea, like, you might set up this it's really right, so
We've been doing
anyways, don't get pushing yourself academically, professionally, whatever you want. And I'm ambitious as a human being, like, this is what I want. I can't sit still. I mean, I can watch Netflix, but I also need to do something. I need to do something to do. I need to, like, in order to be satisfied as a human being, I need to do it. Yeah, I need to push forward. Right. But I love my work, and I love my studies, and I love my family, I love all those pieces together. At least I love it though, right? I do love what I'm doing, and it's meaningful. I don't know why.
I'm recovering now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you definitely should bring back the
Like,
film.
I'll focus
Well,
on
a
those.
lot of work ahead this year.
So I'm kind of,
There's nobody who can do.
You know what I was looking for.
I'm just
There we
tired.
go.
But I'm recovering slowly now. Actually, I'm pretty good today.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for surviving part one, world languages, world writing systems. There is more, okay? Our second part, again for about an hour or so, is going to be about our second topic, teaching about the languages of the world. So I'll run you through, again, this is a 90-minute lesson in Tottori University for my global studies classes. And for here, world languages, we do a short warm-up, which we'll try. We jump in and study a number of languages. We actually speak a few foreign languages, and we have some homework, okay, that links to those. So in general, this 90-minute lesson is about images of language experience, countries and greetings, multilingual countries, language families, language profiles of different languages, and actual conversation practice in foreign languages, all part of a 90-minute lesson. So I like to start with images, okay? Images of languages, and start with my experience, and then have students discuss their experience. And for me, when I was about 3-4 years old, I had this special image of languages of the world, okay? 3 years old, for me, the world was like a treasure house, okay? I had this image, the world is a big treasure house. Inside this giant treasure house, okay, there are all these rooms, right? And they have treasure behind them. There's that room over there, France, another room over there, Germany, China, Spain, Korea, 100, 200 rooms. Every country is a different room in this giant palace. Wow, that's my image of languages, okay? And the problem is all the doors are locked. Behind that door, what amazing people and experiences are there? Well, we can't get in. Behind that door, some amazing things and so on. How do we get in is the problem. And as a young 3-year-old kid, I thought, you know, what's we need a key. That's it. Language is the key. If you speak French, you could open up that door and suddenly the world of France is open to you. Through French, meet French people, learn about French culture, French literature, French this, French that. Wow. Speak a bit of Arabic, you can open the Egyptian door. Wow. Directly with Egyptians in Arabic, you can learn about their amazing culture. Key is language, okay? So language is a key to open doors. It's kind of a nice metaphor. If you learn one foreign language, that opens that door. A different foreign language, that opens that door. There is a master key, and that is English. English opens a lot of different doors, right? And that's the language most of us study. But the other ones are kind of special. It's a unique way of connecting. So, language learning experience, okay? If language is a key, how many keys do you have? I've been collecting keys for 40, 50 years. Okay, I've got about 9 keys, okay? And the languages I've studied, you know, I'm not perfect in any of them, but they're all opening doors and allowing me to get in touch with people in different places. So here are my 9 languages. As I mentioned, I started with French, okay? Compulsory subject, age 12, all Canadians had to study English or French because we're a bilingual country. So about 12 years in school, 3 years living in Paris. My French is pretty good. Je parle pas, mon français, ça va, c'est pas exactement fantastique, mais je peux me débrouiller plus ou moins. German, I started from high school, second year, and 2 years in high school, 4 years university, 6 years then going to Germany finally and working in the ski hotel. That was my second foreign language, okay? I worked in the south of Germany. Ich spreche Deutsch, aber nicht sehr gut, aber ja, das geht schon. Ich kann so, was ich erklären will, das kann ich so machen. Japanese, of course, my third language, and Japanese I get by. Arabic, 2 years in the Middle East. Living in the Middle East, in Jordan, I worked hard to get as much Arabic as possible. Starting with the greeting, and then slowly, every day talking to taxi drivers and local Arabs and so on. And after 2 years, there was an intermediate, I think it was Princeton University, sent a group of intermediate Arabic students to our university in the Middle East and said, you know, they want to do an intensive intermediate course in Arabic. I joined the course. It was really interesting. They were great in textbook Arabic, but they couldn't get by in the streets. I had lived in the Middle East for 2 years. I could say, well, you have to say this in colloquial Arabic and so on. Russian was a language I wanted to learn for a long time. And when I got to Tottori University, I used to take cheap flights from Tottori off to Europe for a conference in London or Paris and Germany. Cheapest flights, Aeroflot. Because, wow, I can always stop off in Moscow and practice a bit more Russian. So working with Russian, making friends there, visiting a couple of times. Interesting. Chinese, my wife and I, we went on a summer intensive Chinese course. For 1 year on my own, I brought some Chinese books and started studying Chinese, just getting the basics. And after 1 year, I was intermediate. So we went to China. My wife took a beginner's Chinese course, 6 weeks, 4 hours a day. I took the intermediate Chinese course, 6 weeks, 4 hours a day. And it was great, spoken Chinese, 4 hours a day. We woke up at 6 in the morning, free Tai Chi lessons by good Tai Chi teachers. So we said, before you start your lessons in Chinese, let's get down and do our Chinese Tai Chi. So we did this every morning, had breakfast, and then 4 hours of spoken Chinese. Ni hao, ni shi ni hao, ma hao. Off we went and did that and so on. Spanish, I used to take students off to Mexico from Totor University every summer, 3 weeks. Take students to Mexico, get involved, practice Spanish next year, a bit better, next year a bit better. So my Spanish is getting there. Korean, I've been about 30 times to Korea. It's so similar to Japanese, the language. And English, I'm still working on, but it's 9 different keys. So, a bit of background about me. Let's do some talking, okay? We'll get together in our small groups again. This is about you, groups of 3. Maybe we can come have you join over here. We put over here, we have groups of 3 there. Put over here as well, 1, 2, 3. Our presidents and so on are a bit busy, we can shift the chairs. This is an interview, questions about languages. So group of 3, go around one by one and answer the questions, fill in very briefly some notes. Off you go, interviews.
How many languages do you speak?
Yeah, sure, like interview.
Mandarin Chinese,
How many
Cantonese
languages?
Chinese, English, and kind of Japanese.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I would call that 4. Oh,
4.
And what was the first, sorry, I'm gonna ask you a different question. What was the first language you knew? Cantonese or Cantonese was first?
Yes.
Okay. So that was your natural first language your family spoke?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, mine's only
Which one did you go over and then what was
it. I'm boring.
English. They're simultaneous at the same time.
Boring
What was
as
your
hell.
language?
I tried French and
Fine,
then
Spanish.
Spanish. Gave up
Okay, so
with
you
it.
started okay, so then English, and then
Duolingo, yes. I mean, used that, but still gave up. Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so how's your Japanese?
Ooh, just for your friend. Japanese and English, right? That's fine.
That's excellent, not about
Wow.
time.
How long have you been studying?
That's fabulous. Okay,
Right.
now, sorry, you can ask the question. Well, I kind of jumped over, but.
So like 4 or 5 years?
Like Japanese,
My friend is Japanese.
English. Too long, right? Like a long. Well, my mom was an English teacher, so I started learning English.
Right.
Well, it wasn't really like, not like the bilingual education way.
Are there any other languages you're studying?
House and then school first, and then she quit teaching with junior high. When she had me. Yeah, kind of. Brainwash.
Me too.
You do French as well?
2 years at the university. Yes, from junior high, so that was the age of just 1959.
So that was
20 years?
So how many languages?
Japanese shows.
Wow. It's like, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, why did
Right,
you choose
and why did you
choose
choose
Yeah. We have to learn other languages,
Yeah.
Chinese or German or Russian or French.
Right.
And so I thought that the French is beautiful language, so just interested in it. So I translated it.
You had to, but it was also beautiful. And you studied that one for 2 years?
2 years.
What about your English? Japanese is your first language?
There's that.
When did you move? How long did you study English?
Studied English.
Maybe a
I
little
studied
bit,
long
but probably
when I was at
I don't know.
So I abandoned from 13 years old.
Okay. Recently, so I just studied the Swahili.
It's really different. Yes. Swahili, because it's a teacher.
Jumbo,
Good, we have some Swahili speakers here.
There you go. Yeah, I lived there for, Tanzania for a year. Yeah.
You start with that.
Okay. I speak 3. I speak English and French and Japanese. Various levels of each of those. I think I'm
Japanese is
so
so
I think
native,
we
right?
started hearing
And
French
also
over
English
time.
is like mother and also
So I don't know if I even studied it too. That's
Yeah,
just
study.
So I
Yeah,
think
we're forced to.
Japanese.
But when I went to Barcelona, I really wanted to study
It's easy to get
Spanish,
Spanish.
and then I studied a little bit, you know.
Naturally.
But then, as soon as I get to
Japanese.
they don't.
I started studying when I was
They speak different language.
When I came to Japan, I couldn't speak any.
And most of them speak English. You know,
It was so crazy. It was not
You're
so great.
good.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid, I think, even. I think it was just like not very
It's amazing.
It was so lonely. It was so lonely and sad and like confusing and
Great couple.
why I came because when I finished university, I wanted to travel the world.
Yeah.
And I didn't care if I was going to volunteer or but I didn't want to lose my home actually. So
Yeah, I wanted to.
brought me over. Yeah. And I was like, well, they're gonna travel basically. I was like, opportunity to go somewhere. And I had an interest in that. Of course, I studied a little bit about Japanese culture, not language, at university because I didn't have language. And so I was just very interested, and it was an opportunity.
I have to say that's also
And then I never expected to stay
interesting.
forever. But I mean, at that time in your life, you kind of it's very impressionable. Like you're very, you meet your partner in life. Yeah, so I met my now husband. And I know it's first year to Japan. Yeah, so, but anyways, the Japanese, I never formally studied Japanese.
Did you study with books?
Yeah, I studied with books by myself. I had some volunteer teachers. But, and I even used, for example, I've used a lot of things, but I've always done it by myself.
How many
The first year
hours
a week, I didn't speak
Yeah,
Japanese.
and
And really, because I just, I don't know, it's my thing with my character, I don't understand, but I said, I've got to do this, and I enrolled over spring break, 2 weeks, solo lessons. I had to speak,
But you
and
have
then
to do
after that,
it every day.
not that I was good at it, but like, it took me
Otherwise, you forget, right?
yeah, it's in a safe place, just me and the teacher, and every day for a number of hours, over a 2-week period. But what I needed was to break up that barrier.
Some of the example was like,
Sort of like
no,
my
some of the
students.
example
Yeah,
was
a lot of my students.
like a boy
But I
and
just
a
decided,
cat.
I was like,
A boy and a cat are friends. Something like that, yeah. Yeah, but it's funny.
That was funny.
That's not
I just said, I have to do this.
long term
Yes.
here.
Start running.
Yeah.
And stop being
Yeah,
afraid
it's
or
but if you
embarrassed
pay a
or
little bit more.
accept
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I drop it. I'll drop it. But it was really hard to do for me at that time. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I just couldn't step into it.
Okay, can I stop you there? This is again the start of a 90-minute lesson on world languages. I give a short background to myself. Language is a key to open doors. If you have those keys, you can open doors to different languages and cultures and to people's hearts. I've collected 9 keys, different languages and so on, and this is a chance for students to get together, groups of 3 in English, and quiz each other about what languages they've learned, why they learned them, and what they'd like to learn. Just listening to these groups, we've got some interesting language. We've got Xhosa, right, from South Africa. We've got Swahili. You were in Tanzania, right?
Yep.
What other languages? Arabic? Yeah? You're also interested in Arabic, right?
I'm interested in Russian and Arabic, yeah.
Okay,
and
yeah.
I started to learn it by Duolingo.
Interesting, yeah. Uh-huh.
I have languages, as you can see.
Good. So for Toy-Dai students, they're first, second year students, they're 18, 19 years old, and they have to study English plus choose one second foreign language. So it's always interesting. How many people chose French? Why did you choose French? How many people chose Chinese? And again, this is basically warming up, buzzing together, getting set, raising some awareness. And your classmates, wow, you chose German, you chose Chinese or Korean. It's kind of a good chance to get them going. Okay, let's move on and do some input then. Languages in the world. How many languages are there in the world? Is it 100, 200, 3? Ideas? What do you think?
I'll be say maybe 700 as a guess.
Possibly, yeah. Our team here, what do you think? Yeah? The answer is about 6,000, over 6,000, 6,000, 7,000. Amazing number, yeah. And some of these, again, are very small, little communities. Some are going extinct, sadly, okay? What about the 10 biggest languages, most native speakers? With your group, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just brainstorm. What do you think, top 3, top 4?
According to the native speakers.
Mother tongue, yeah. Mother tongue speakers, yeah.
Hindi, Indian. No? How about India?
That's good, yeah, thanks.
I'm glad to have it in my bag.
Good, yeah, smart. Prep.
I once did that research for English for one.
Yes, but also
Maybe English.
that language.
This is primary language?
Because of just the population, I feel like it's I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, but then it's
And Chinese is multiple.
Cantonese
You were saying, so.
is not
a major. Right.
Bengali.
We got Chinese, Portuguese is not as big as you think. We gotta have some Spanish on there.
Okay, top 3. Your ideas.
Chinese.
Team 1, yeah, top 3 is 1 Chinese, 2 Spanish, Hindu, okay, yeah. Team 2, top 3.
Chinese, Spanish, English, and Hindi.
Okay, yeah. Team 3.
We got Chinese, right? English,
Yeah,
Spanish, and Russian. We go Russian.
maybe, okay.
Russian.
So the answer is native speakers, right? For native speakers, number 1, of course, is Chinese, okay? Number 2 is Hindi Urdu. Hindi Urdu are the same language. Urdu is written in the Arabic alphabet and Hindi is written in the Devanagari alphabet, but the same basic language, okay? That's 2. 3 is Spanish. 4 is English, native speakers. 5 is Arabic. 6, Portuguese, Brazil. Yeah. 7, Bengali. 8, Russian. 9, Nihongo, Japanese. And 10 is Punjabi. For native speakers, top 10, okay? Japan makes it, okay? It's not geographically spread, but large number. But again, top Chinese, Hindi, Urdu, and Spanish. These 3 big. English for native speaker comes in fairly big. Of course, if we include non-native speakers, English is going to be up there, number 1. I'll give you this handout a bit later on then, again, about these information, Mandarin, Hindi, Spanish, and so on. It's a nice graphic. And again, English comes in number 4 in terms of native speakers. We can't study all 6,000 languages of the world, but we can study a few. So what I do is maybe give students an easy warm-up, countries, languages, and greetings, okay? And again, groups of 3, you're welcome to try. On the left is countries and languages, on the right is countries and greetings. See if you can connect the dots. This is with your pencil, draw a line between the country and the language and the greetings. Maybe fairly straightforward. matching.
Is it? Maybe? No, that's right.
Talking to like a 10-year elementary teacher, we had the hello song with like all the languages. Oh yeah. That's the second page.
I think it's Arabic. That's the one. Yeah, so that's the one. I thought that's the Russian.
Last grade math.
How could you do such a mess? How did you?
Just reading.
Yeah, but that's
Today's topic.
So.
What
I
language
might be
is
wrong.
spoken in
That's what I think.
Dutch game today?
Okay, this is pretty straightforward, right? Get students in pairs or groups, quick matching and so on. And most of the languages and countries are pretty straightforward. So you can ask students, what language is spoken in Egypt? And the answer is
Arabic.
Arabic, yeah. What language is spoken in Holland?
Dutch.
Dutch, yeah. What language is spoken in France? Surprise, surprise, it's French, okay. Germany is German, Korea, Korean, Russia, Russian, basically. Mexico, Spanish, Kenya, Swahili, and Brazil is Portuguese. Again, very basic, no problem for students. The greetings are kind of interesting though. How do you say hello in Chinese? Yeah, ni hao. Next one is Russian. Which one? Good. Здравствуйте. Good. French is bonjour, yeah. Korean? 안녕하세요. Good. German? Guten Tag. Arabic? Salam alaikum. Yeah. Spanish? Buenos dias. Thai? Sawadee krap. Yeah. And Hindi? Namaste. So students, they know a couple, some of these are pretty basic, everybody knows ni hao and so on. We practice pronunciation, basically, because greetings are kind of special. There's this famous quote, learning a greeting in a foreign language is a mark of cultural respect. I made the effort to learn the greeting of your language, and that's a way of, connecting with people. If you say a greeting with the right pronunciation to that person, suddenly, wow, you know my language? It's kind of that interesting reaction. So we'll do a quick pronunciation. Just follow me a little bit. Chinese is ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao. Russian, they have these crazy consonant clusters. It drives you nuts. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. Good. French, bonjour. That's easy. Korean is machine gun style. 안녕하세요. Okay? 안녕하세요. It's not 안녕하세요, that's not Korean. 안녕하세요, it's pretty direct. German, guten Tag. It's got a kind of a K ending at the sentence final, G's or K's. Guten Tag, yeah? Arabic, salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
Salam means peace. Alay on, kum means you. May peace be upon you. Salam, peace, alay on you. It's a beautiful greeting. Salam alaikum. And the answer, the refrain, when you wish somebody salam alaikum, the answer is not salam alaikum, it's and upon you peace. You switch these around. Wa alaikum assalam. Salam alaikum, peace be upon you. Wa alaikum assalam. Salam alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. Spanish, buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
That's easy. Thai, boys say krap at the end and girls say ka. Girls, sawadee ka. Boys, sawadee krap. Okay? Gendered, krap for boys. I don't know why. Ka for girls. Girls, sawadee ka would be correct time. And Hindi, also namaste with a special gesture. So you can play with these a little bit in class, getting students to get the pronunciation done well. And I've seen it, you go up to a student, where you're from, Saudi Arabia, salam alaikum. Wow, that connects right there. It's somebody who's taken the time to learn your language. We look at multilingual countries because there are a lot of stereotypes about language, right? Is it true that one country, one language? in France? Everybody speaks French. Spanish, in Spain, everybody speaks Spanish. Sadly, no, okay? Do you know what percent of people in these countries speak that language? What percent of people in Spain speak Spanish, France, and so on? Discuss in your groups. Is it 100%? 97%?
I really don't know. I'm curious, and I like
How many of the people in the United States speak English as their native language, as their first language?
Well, there are so many.
Ignorant just in general. If it's in general. Right.
Yeah, but there are so many people who keep speaking Spanish.
Yeah, it's as high as United States. When you look at the adjectives,
60%.
I would say between 60 and 65.
How many people in Spain? I would say yes. Because people, there's how many
Let's just take some odd guesses for the next sentence.
So the question is, what persons
because it's a border.
speak English in daily life or
French.
It's, English is their first language.
I feel that.
Okay, we're talking native languages here. What percent of people in that country speak this language as a native speaker? Let's try. USA, what do you think?
60%.
60%. Matt, your idea?
Was it?
For English in the USA?
60 or 80.
68%? Okay. This group?
60?
Yeah. The answer is, oh, here we go. 82%, okay? So about 20% are speaking Spanish, Chinese, other languages as a native tongue. 82% are native English speakers. Spain, what do you think?
Higher, lower, folks. We only go
In the
here.
90s.
Yeah, the answer is 74%. Catalan is a different language. Basque is a different language. They're all part of Spain, but only 74% of Spanish have Castilian Spanish mother tongue. France.
I say same number, say 74.
Yeah, the answer is 88. Okay, it's a bit more. But France has Basque, different regional groups and so on. Russia
90s.
is 81%.
Or 81.
Germany is 95, surprisingly high. Until Merkel, this is before Merkel and all the 1 million refugees came in.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. If we take a look at the USA, for example, this is languages spoken at home as a mother tongue. We have 40 million Americans who speak Spanish as a mother tongue. Chinese is 3 million. Tagalog, 1.6 million. Vietnamese, 1.4 million. French, Cajun, 1.2 million Americans, mother tongue. So USA is a very multicultural, multilingual country. A lot of people have this image, Americans speak English, French speak French. No. That's kind of interesting. Multilingual countries. How many languages are there in Belgium, official languages? Answer is 2, right? What are there?
German and French?
Yeah, so French and then Flemish, which is kind of a Dutch. Yeah, French and Flemish, yeah. Okay. Canada, how many languages official? 2, yeah. French and English. Plus we also have Inuit languages as well. Singapore is 4 languages. English, Chinese, I guess there's Indian language and Malay. Good. And Switzerland is 4. French, German, Italian, and Romansh. And South Africa.
11.
Yes, 11 languages. Amazing. That's a lot, okay?
Wow.
So for Japan, Japan, Japanese, France, French, you want to break that stereotype and say, no, it's a very rich multilingual world. Even certain countries have a different number. Bilingual speakers, the EU has about 56% of people speak more than 2 languages, more than 1 language, they're bilingual. 44% monolingual. Luxembourg, 99% can speak more than 1 language. Sweden, 97%. I lived in Sweden 5 months. They were pretty bilingual, English, French, German, and so on. Denmark, 88%, Netherlands, 91%. Germany, 67%, Poland, 57% speak more than 1 language. Wow. And again, the same information. This is for Americans who spoke a language other than English as a mother tongue. It's growing year by year. 2007 was 19.73% maybe. So, multilingual world, many people speak more than 1 language. Our class today is world languages. So it's time to take a look at language families. Languages are like people. They belong to families, and family members resemble each other. Very simple, but it's true, okay? So we take a look. Language families, there's so many. We have the Indo-European language family, okay? We have the Semitic language family, Arabic, Hebrew, Sino-Tibetan, Uralic, Altaic. And members of a certain family, they resemble each other, as families do in the human world, okay? We can take a look at Indo-European. Indo-European, we have Romance languages. No, not that Romance. Romance means Roman, Latin-based, okay? French, Spanish, Italian are all part of the Romance group of the Indo-European language. Germanic languages are English, German, Dutch. Slavic, Russian, Polish, Czech, all part of the Slavic group. Indo-Iranian, distant part of the family, Persian and Hindi. And these languages resemble each other. So I'll give you a handout, okay? This is, students probably have never studied about language families, but it's interesting. Plus, it's important because it helps you to learn foreign languages, knowing they're related. Yes. French. Great, yeah, please exploit. So on the back of this is the Indo-European language family. It's quite an interesting family. You've got the Hellenic group, Armenian group, Balto-Slavic, Celtic, Germanic, and so on, okay? And each of these languages, the Germanic includes Dutch, English, German, Scandinavian, they resemble each other. If you're an English speaker, German is pretty easy to learn because they belong to the same language family. If you speak French, then Spanish, Italian are pretty easy to learn. I've studied French and I've never studied Italian, but I can take an Italian newspaper and understand 40-50% because I have French vocabulary and it's part of the same language family. To demonstrate this, I have this little part here where we take a look at two words, the word for father and the word for three, and see how similar it is. So in French, the word for father is père. In Italian, it's padre. In Spanish, also padre. In Portuguese, pai. Père, padre, padre, pai, pretty similar. The word for three is trois, tres. Same system. Germanic, we have father. In German, Vater. Dutch, vader. In Spanish, vader. That's almost the same because they belong to the same group. Three, tri. Russian, the word for father is otec. In Polish, it's otec. In Czech, it's otec. Basically the same word, just slightly different pronunciation. So this is interesting. When I started in linguistics at university, first, second year, I said, wow, you mean they're connected, these languages? What do you, no, interesting. So if you choose one language from each language family, you can have a wide spread. You can talk to a lot of people. So I chose French for my Romance language. I chose German for my Germanic language. I chose Russian. And because I speak a bit of bad Russian, I can follow a bit of the Polish radio, read a newspaper a little bit in Czech and so on. One language opens up a world. It's kind of interesting. So this is good for students to know. Wow, you choose one French and suddenly Spanish and Italian become a little bit available to you because of that. Okay, language families, good to look at. Let's take a look at language games. To teach about actual languages, you can do a number of things. You can lecture students, you can give them handouts and so on, but kind of games are fun as well. So this game, we're going to put some cards on the table, face down, okay? Spread them around, face down, don't look at them. Yeah, spread those around, okay? I have a large team here. Yeah, spread those around. I'll have a large team over here. Face down. So what we're going to do is, you'll take turns. One person takes the card and reads the card to the teammates, the answers on the card. Don't tell them, say, this language is A, B, C, D, E. What language is it? And they say, that sounds like, is that French? Yes, it is. Next card, this language has such and such. So one person reads, and then they finish. Next person chooses card by card, okay? Off we go, please start, yeah.
What language is this language in
I always do quick
saw the Arabian.
Islam was originated in Europe and was spoken by about 105 million people around the world. The mother tongue of the other Western European nations. It's also spoken in Austria, Czechoslovakia, and Luxembourg. Spanish language family and what language is it? This is the language of a major nation in Western Europe and also Switzerland and Austria. It's also spoken in Canada, Switzerland, and French.
Okay, is it German?
Yeah, correct.
This language originated in Saudi Arabia.
What language is it?
And
This is the mother tongue of a major nation in Western Europe and is spoken by 280 million people. It's also spoken in Canada, Belgium, Switzerland, and in African nations like Algeria, Tunisia, and Gabon. It's a global language of Russian Genesee. It belongs to the Romance of the Indo-European language family. Yeah, those are good. Model.
I'm throwing down.
How do you do it?
This language originated in East Africa as a language of trade between Arabs and Muslims. Today it's a major regional language for the African continent. It's spoken by about 80 million people in African nations such as Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and it belongs to the Yoruba.
It's spoken by 150 million people. It's the mother tongue of the major European nation.
This language
It's also
is
spoken in South America, Central America, parts of the US, such as California and Texas. It belongs to the Romance group, also Indo-European language
educators around the world. It belongs
My memory is always fresh. In the morning. It's always fresh.
So many
Today,
stuff to
it's a
learn.
major regional language for the African continent. It's spoken by 50 million people in African nations such as African nations and belongs to the Bantu language. What language is it? Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll give you answer paper to recycle these cards. Easy or difficult? You know, in writing these cards, I have to think how, you know, best way to write them for us students who don't know the language of them.
As a person who does this for
Easy, difficult? Here's the master sheet. I'll recycle these and put them together. Thank you. It was kind of fun, yeah. It's excellent. Better than me lecturing at them just well, no one has to do Great, thank you.
Now, are you teaching JET program or?
Okay, so guessing games are kind of fun. These ones I've sat down, wrote up some cards, threw in some flags and so on, very basic, you know, and it's written in a way from my students at Toydai is good. If your students are lower level or high level, you could choose to rewrite them in different ways, but it's kind of a fun way to do it. Okay. Instant expert is another idea, okay? You say, students, guess what? You're going to become an instant expert. I'll give you a data card. You'll master information about language and explain it to your colleague. So we'll try this as well, okay? And maybe what we'll do is, we'll get two people. Maybe we'll get partners across here, okay? And two people here, two people there, two guys there. No, we're going with Matt. So we have language 1 on the back, language 2. Only look at your own side, okay? Language 1 and language 2. you want to become an expert in this language, please read and be able to explain the data to your partner. Language 1, language 2, language 1 over here. Language 2.
Yes, it sounds like
Language 1.
that.
You see.
So you read one side and the other.
Yeah, so silently, read silently to yourself first, study, study, study first. Study silently by yourself, and then when I say go, you'll be able to explain the information. But first, silent study. Read the information, then we'll explain it in a minute. Okay, you ready? One person, explain your language. Don't read, summarize and explain your content. And when you finish, I will touch stage.
See words such as fashion and cuisine. In Africa, we also use it.
And it has several
I don't know the name. And it was the main 16 process to European travelers before. It was very interesting. And this language used as monitoring languages in European Union. And I remember there was a So I was thinking maybe it's like Southern English or Northern English in English.
Okay, let me bring you back. Again, teachers can lecture, we can talk about here's French and here's German, but it's more fun to give students, maybe a structure, become an internet expert. This is for you guys a little bit straight from a longer discourse, full page of information, but you can cut this down into easy bite-sized portions. Students, group of 4, we need an expert for German. I'll take German. Hindi, okay, Hindi, Swahili. They get their data, they get it. And that connection for the rest of their lives, I had Swahili for this one activity in English class at university. I have a connection with this language, and their ears perk up when they hear about Swahili or Chinese, whatever. Okay, let's move along a little bit. Language profiles. So what I do for this course, we're getting down toward the practical side. We start looking at special features of languages, and I have to choose 7. So we're going to study 7 languages. First, the special features, then a little bit of talking. I'll just go through this very briefly, but you'll see the kind of things I want students to learn. 7 languages profiles. So this is the core of the 7 languages. We're going to learn the geography, pronunciation, vocabulary, speakers, loan words in English, and some sample sentences. So let's jump in, okay? Number 1 is French, okay? French, you can find maps that show the French extent. France here, Canada, East Africa, down here and there and so on. Other places where French is used fairly often as a second language. And pronunciation feature, a lot of nasal sounds. Bon, con, action, that is very French. Vocabulary, nouns are either masculine, they take a look, or feminine la table, tables are feminine, who knew, Speakers, about 200 million. Loan words, these are all from French. Ballet, champagne, garage from French, and we'll take a sample sentence. Sample sentence. Who has never studied French? Hands up. Okay, you'll be our translator then, okay? You've never studied French, but I want you to translate from French into English. But that's impossible, you say. No, because just remember, French and English belong to the same language family. It should be pretty simple, okay? So, you've never studied French, I want you to translate into English. Here's our French sentence, okay? La situation politique est importante, okay?
Oh.
Situation, what would that be in English, you think? Ah, situation, good. Okay, what about politique?
Political.
Ah, that's right. In French, the adjective comes after the noun. In English, it's before the noun. What about importante?
Important?
Wow, have you done this before? Okay. We need a verb in this sentence, right? What about a? A verb. Is, you've got it, okay. And the last one, we need the beginning. La is in English. Wow, she's never studied French. She translated. For students, this is an eye-opener. Wow, that's Junko in our class just translated from English into French. And of course, I've arranged it in an easy sentence.
Yeah.
But the point is still interesting. Wow, same language family, you can do it, okay? So that's interesting. Number 2 is German. German language, again, is Germany. Again, you have Austria, Switzerland. German had, a large cultural area, Eastern Europe and so on. Colonies in Namibia, German immigrants off to Australia. The features of the language, special sounds, ich, nach, use ich, nach. Starting German, ich, nach, and so on. Vocabulary, worse than French, trust me. Der, die, das. Masculine nouns are der, feminine nouns are die, and neuter nouns, das. Book is neuter, das Buch, right? So it drives you nuts. Speakers, loan words, halt, poker, Gesundheit. When I sneezed, my mother said Gesundheit because we have Germanic background. My great-grandmother, I think, from Germany. So yeah, Gesundheit when someone sneezes. And our sample sentence, die politische Situation ist wichtig. Ist Situation, okay, that's possible. Politische, that's pretty close. Wichtig, important, we can't get that. But a lot of that you can catch because it's the same language family. Third is Spanish, okay? Spanish from Spain, but again, Latin America, all down here. And it's very easy to pronounce. A, I, U, A, O, same vowels as Japan. You'll hear lots of entes, antes, and muchos. Masculine, el señor. Feminine, la señorita, el and la. Lots of speakers. Loan words, guitar, gorilla, mosquito comes from Spanish into English, okay? And our sample sentence is, la situación política es importante. Whoa, sounds very Spanish. It's totally easy to read. La situación política es importante. That is nice Spanish pronunciation. Russian. Russian again, off in the Soviet Union, that area. Pronunciation, these consonant clusters. Where is где? Where is Saitama? Где Saitama? Sviet is flower. Sviet. It's again very special. You have to get used to these consonant clusters. Adjectives end in ski. He's American. Amerikansky. She's Russian. Ruskaya. Skiskaya. Lots of speakers, loan words, vodka, Soviet, Tsar, borscht. And our sample sentence is not written in Cyrillic. Politichesky poложение важное. Political situation important. Важное important, but politichesky, okay, you can get that a little bit. Next is Arabic. Arabic, Middle East, North Africa. Arabic has throat sounds, a lot of ka down here, and has 3 H's. My Arabic teacher said there are 3 H's. You have to have h and kha, and the third one is a deep H when you clear your glasses. That's the third H. Ha, kha, and very deep. Wow, 3 H's. We actually have 1 in English. Al is the definite article. Al means the in Arabic. Algebra is an Arabic word. Alcohol, even though Islam bans it as Arabic. Almanac is Arabic. Al something, al means the, okay? And our sentence, the political situation is important. Again, we can't get it. Al-Mawqif, the situation, the siyasi, political. Muhim is important. Chinese is kind of fun. It's very widespread in China, of course, with Cantonese and Chinatowns around the world. These 4 tones, okay? You have a high tone, ma. Rising tone, ma. A dipping tone, ma. And a falling tone, ma. If you whistle it, it's easier to catch. High tone, excuse me, let me take this off for a second. Rising tone, falling tone, and falling tone is, okay, the style. So these are in all the words. Ni means you, hao means good, wo means I, wo, hao, and so on. A lot of speakers, typhoon, ping pong, not that many words in English. And the political situation is important, our sample sentence. 政治情况重要. And this is the same kanji. Seiji jokyo juyo. Seiji, 政治 jokyo, 情况 juyo, 重要. Okay? It sounds kind of cool. 政治情况重要. Nice Chinese feeling to it. Last is Korean, okay? Korean, again, our neighbor. A lot of imnidas, hamnidas, aos, and seos as part of the verb structure. Kango ga oi, there's a lot of Chinese words. So you got shikan, the same as Japanese jikan. Library, tosoguan, Japanese toshokan, okay? To arrive in Japanese is to chakusuru, Korean tochek, tochek. If you know Japanese, wow, this is pretty easy, the vocabulary. The word order is the same as Japanese, okay? And the sample sentence would be Seiji jokyo juyo Jongji Seiji Jongsei jokyo jungyo juyo desu 합니다. Jongji jungsei jungyo 합니다. Interesting. Special features. If you remember them, it helps you to understand that language a bit better. So we do this with students. We go through a little bit, and then we can say, well, but my students, they're not interested in all this language and linguistics. What do you do if your students don't want to study all this language linguistics, that they're only interested in pop culture, sports stars, movie actors, Hollywood films? That is a problem, right? We're trying to teach maybe world languages, students just interested in sports stars. I have a solution, and that is multilingual celebrities, okay? I'm going to show you some pictures. These celebrities are famous actors and so on. All of them speak a foreign language or two. So, with your group of 3, what languages do you think? These people all speak very fluently at least one other language. What do you think? Which language?
They speak, we're just based on What do you think? Do you know any of them?
And that's the important nation of
Who does? I really have no idea what languages they speak.
Any ideas? Back table, any thoughts?
No idea.
It's hard, yeah. Huh?
Is it a shot? We think Colin Firth might speak Gaelic, and we
Okay.
think Nellie might speak Hebrew.
Interesting, yeah, your team?
We said
Natalie
basic.
Portman speaks French, I guess.
Maybe, okay, and your group, any ideas?
We thought Jodie Foster speaks French.
Okay, so we'll take an example. Leo DiCaprio, he speaks good German and pretty good Italian, okay? DiCaprio's an Italian name, right? But his mother was German.